The CLOtest product was invented by Dr. Barry Marshall. He also invented a product I'd like to introduce, CLOtest. Dr. Marshall, who I mentioned earlier, won the Nobel Prize for connecting H. pylori with ulcers, actually inoculated himself with the bacterium to prove the point that it could be treated with antibiotics and that it was a bacteria cause for the ulcers. CLOtest is considered the gold standard. CLOtest is a product developed for use with biopsy samples taken after endoscopy. This is a CLOtest slide. They come in the box, packaged this way. They do have an 18-month expiration date, and they must be stored in the refrigerator from 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. The CLOtest slide is simply a slide with a well that contains agar and some chemicals. When exposed to urease from the Helicobacter pylori, will turn from the yellow or orange to magenta. This particular slide has had an exposure to urease so that you can see the difference. When a patient is biopsied, the physician will need to write the patient information on the front of the slide, peel the label back, fully insert the biopsy sample into the gel, and close the slide label. The reaction to change the gel from yellow to magenta can take place over the course of several minutes to 24 hours. The initial gel color may be yellow to a light gold and may be used. Prior to use with the sample, the physician will want to warm the CLOtest slide. You can use one of several methods for that. It can be allowed to sit out till it reaches room temperature. It can be placed on a warming plate to warm, or it can be placed in a physician's pocket to warm to room temperature. When the gel is warm, it enhances the chemical reaction that will take place, thereby reducing the amount of time for the reaction. What happens if I have a negative result? Jack bean urease can be used as a QC check. This material is a urease type 3. It's a similar material excreted by the Helicobacter pylori. A physician can insert 1 tablet into the well next to the biopsy sample to ensure that the gel is functioning appropriately, and the gel will change to the magenta around the Jack bean urease tablet. This product also comes with an expiration date and must be refrigerated. What happens if my slide is orange? This slide has been exposed to a lot of heat, probably on a loading dock or a similar situation. I would not use this slide because it will be very difficult to obtain a color differentiation for a positive result. Can I get a false positive result? Yes, you can if you inoculate the slide with another urease containing substance. Can I get a false negative result? No, you cannot get a false negative result. If the slide is not turned from yellow to any other color, magenta or red, the CLOtest Jack bean urease tablet can confirm the gel is functioning. If the surrounding ambient air in the laboratory for the analysis is very cold, you may not get the reaction to occur. We've seen that in the lab in Tucson. If the surrounding ambient air is too warm, you may get a change in the gel colorant that would render it unable to be used. Some frequently asked questions that we receive concerning the CLOtest. How do I prepare a biopsy sample if I need to move the biopsy from one location to another location in order to use the test? We would recommend that the facility procedures or physician's procedures for this transfer be utilized. Another question we receive is, what happens if there's a liquid inside the well? A liquid inside the well indicates that this slide has been frozen and there's been a separation between the chemicals and the agar that's in the well. Another question we receive is, what happens if the well appears that the agar has been desiccated or dried out, cracked? In that case, do not use that particular slide. One of the questions that we receive is this product CLIA waived? And it is CLIA waived. That means that the laboratory that runs the test does not have to have a CLIA certification in order to use this test. There are a couple of competitors on the market for the CLOtest. These include HP Fast and Pylori Tech. Again, my name is Brenda Schelke, and I work in regulatory affairs at Kimberly-Clark. Dr. Barry Marshall inoculated himself with the H. pylori to prove the connection between H. pylori and gastric ulcers. He invented two products to diagnose the H. pylori, the CLOtest and the PyTest. Your target market would be gastroenterologists, outpatient centers, and GI centers, or GI labs. A set of frequently asked questions for both the CLOtest and the PyTest products will be on the Digestive Health portal.